McCarthy is a company that's been around in construction for over 120 years. It started somewhere in the Midwest building barns. They migrated to St. Louis and they continued to grow. In the 80s, they had a big growth into healthcare, and that's been our main niche of construction, and we've continued to diversify from there into institutional laboratories, universities, government facilities. We do a lot of work for CDC, Department of Defense, and so on. But for the most part, we still try to maintain relationships. We value building relationships with our clients, but we also do it in-house with our own people. And when you join the company, you basically become part of another big family. Right now, about a 2,000 member family, whether you like it or not.
McCarthy first got involved with MS in 2005. A partner of mine and a peer partner as well. He and I both joined McCarthy in 1980 and were project managers on sites, different sites within the St. Louis market. So we were both partners and friends for 25 years. Ray was diagnosed with MS in 2005.
I worked for McCarthy for about 27 years. And I started in the winter of 1981. And the company was a small company and had the family atmosphere. To fast forward to about 2004, when I was diagnosed with MS, I was kind of at a crossroads whether to tell my employer or not. That's always a kind of an issue, do you say anything or not? And my legs started getting bad enough that I had to tell them. And so I told my boss that, and we discussed it, and they've done nothing but, good things. I worked until March of 2008, and they put adaptive equipment in the office. I had a van that was a handicap van that they got for me. And then when I moved into my house, they helped renovate and helped me get it more handicap accessible.
I think it was just a few months after that, got involved with the first bike race and had a resounding show up from our employees. We're an employee-owned firm, so I think we had somewhere between 25 and 30 bikers our first year, and in 2009 we raised company-wide over $100,000 for MS. The philosophy for my 29 years at McCarthy has always been focused on family. When I started in 1980, both Patty and Tim McCarthy wanted to know about my family, knew my wife's name and my children's names for my entire career, and it is really represented in Mike McCarthy's decision to sell the company to the employees in 2000 due to his vision that how successful a company could be if it were owned by its employees, and they're making ownership decisions on a daily basis. Chris probably joined us in May of 2006, was a project engineer for us, and in December of 2008 was experiencing some balance problems on one of our job sites, which was the Ed Jones South Campus project located at Manchester and 270.
What had happened to me is I was feeling pretty bad and pretty sick and everything, had a headache for numerous days, and they decided to put me in the hospital and check me out and try to get rid of it. And as they did that and took multiple scans of me and everything else, they figured out that, well, and they came to me and said, well, you have lesions on your brain. It's like, well, I didn't have that before, so we've got a problem now. And it just kind of snowballed there into diagnosis of MS.
So due to the fall conditions on a job site, we moved Chris into our estimating group in the office so that he could, at a young age, learn the estimating part of the business, and hopefully we'll have a long-time career with us in our estimating group.
Just in mere fact that they tried to do something, where a lot of companies, and being in the construction field, companies are pretty callous for the most part. I mean, they don't worry about their employees so much. And just the mere fact that, immediately did something and tried to accommodate me, and that was that, and treated me normal too. It wasn't like, well, he's a glass vase now, we can't touch him, I mean, they just put me in a spot, and here you go.
It's more than just a company, it really is a family. We reach out to help each other. We share in our successes. It's definitely a family environment, and it's not like any other company I've ever worked for. When I heard the news about McCarthy being nominated as the Employer of the Year for the Gateway MS chapter, I was very thrilled. It just is so exciting to see our involvement and how it's affected the chapter, as well as how the relationship has really built between McCarthy and the chapter.
We live it, we do it, basically.
For them to get this award as the Employer of the Year, I think is really a great honor because they deserve it.
You know, there's a lot of good companies in the St. Louis community that I'm sure deserve this award. You know, McCarthy has always put its employees first before anything else they do in a business day. And don't know if we deserve this award, but we're certainly honored to be here to accept the award.